Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I am Richard at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joe at J Wonder on the MakeCode forums.
And I'm Thomas at Sparks on the MakeCode forums.
And hopefully Sarah and Ben will show up at some point. They usually come on Fridays. So what are we doing today? Well, it's a Friday stream, so we're just going to be working on random stuff. I wanted to talk about some sound stuff today because I've been having fun doing synthesizer stuff recently. So I figured we'd talk about some more stuff. So let's remember what we've been working on so far. Let's bring back the code. There we go. All right. So we were trying to replicate the Game Boy Advance sound, which got pretty close, I think, by getting the right notes and the other thing. Obviously, it's got the Game Boy Advance one like trails longer and stuff like that, But
this one's got the thing in it.
Sarah says she has internet problems and is going to try restarting her computer. So hopefully they get figured out. And then we were playing with some chords and scales. So that's playing a major chord, a minor chord, then another major chord with just a boring triangle wave, I think. And then we started talking about instruments and how they can be defined. So the instruments that are in the song editor are all defined using this tool. There we go. So you can hear this just playing a random song with this instrument that we defined. And we talked about the different types of envelopes and what all the different parameters do. So let's turn off the pitch envelope. So here you go. You can hear it playing, and if we increase the attack. Oh. Don't make the attack go too high or you'll crash.
Okay. I thought the stream crashed for a second.
No. There we go. Okay. You see, when you make the attack go high, I mentioned this before, but it kind of sounds like a sound in reverse because we're used to sounds starting, percussively. Anyway, so put the attack back down. Put our sustain down to 0, and then set our decay real low. There we go. Nice little percussive sounds. All right, anyway. So this is fun. And then we have the pitch envelope, which lets us change pitch over time. So if I put this up, then we start hearing the pitch go weird. You hear it going low there? That's because we're overflowing the pitch. Yeah, anyway. And then we have these LFOs that we can use. And the LFOs change the amplitude and frequency over time. So if we turn on the pitch LFO, there, you can kind of hear it going wobbly now. These are really short notes, so it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, don't use waveform number 2.
Kind of a neat little drum beat you had there for a second.
Yeah. Apparently this one has a very low frequency, whatever this test melody is. Okay, but now we're back to Suria's song. All right. Well, anyway, we're not going to use this tool today. I just wanted to show it off. So I wanted to talk about waveforms. So you probably, if you look at our sound effect editor, you're probably familiar with some of the waveforms we have in there. So let's take a look real quick. We're going to just drag out a sound effect block. And let's set the frequency to be the same at the start and end, and we'll just make the volume the same so that we can see the waveform. Okay, so this is a sine wave, right? You've seen those before. A sine wave represents a pure tone, so it's just an exact frequency. And if you've ever taken a class on electronics, then you know that there are other waveforms, and these are typically formed by composing sine waves. So we're going to be talking about some of those other waveforms today. So let's listen to all of them real quick. We're going to change this frequency to be a little bit less ear splitting. Let's make it be like 956 is fine. There we go. Okay, yeah. So sine wave, very boring. Let's hear square wave. So. All right, so square waves sound much more digital.
Yeah.
Because
you're definitely in a hospital and somebody is getting beeped.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, all of these are going to sound a little bit like that, Joey.
That's true, but I'm just saying that one for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
and then we have
something wrong with my printer.
Oh, I get that. Yeah. All right. Next, we have triangle wave. Hi, Sarah. So triangle wave sounds kind of similar to sine wave for me. They're not that far apart, but the triangle wave is just like a little bit richer than the sine wave is. Sine waves sound super thin, you know, because they're just one frequency. There's more going on in the triangle wave. I mean, then we have the sawtooth wave, which is super buzzy. Yeah, okay. So the question is, how do we take a sine wave and turn it into one of these other waves? So I said that we make these other waves by combining different sine waves, right? So the way we do this is by using something called harmonics. So when we're talking about the harmonics of a wave, this is the integer multiples of a wave, all right? So if we have a sine wave at a frequency of 500 hertz, that is what we call the fundamental frequency. And then if we were to do the first harmonic, that would be that times 2, which is 1000 hertz. If we do the second harmonic, that would be that times 3, so 1500 hertz, and so on and so forth. So we have what are called even harmonics, which are the even integer multiples, and we have odd harmonics, which are the odd multiples. And the reason we separate them between even and odd is because a lot of these waveforms are constructed by like just using the even harmonics or just using the odd harmonics. So the fundamental frequency, that's the main one you hear. That's the one you hear with your ear, you know, like if you were to, you know, be trying to figure out the pitch of a thing, the fundamental frequency it is. All of these other harmonics, though, are present at different volumes. So, yeah, hi, JT. So as you get farther away from the fundamental, they get quieter, is how it works. So let's go through the three and then kind of talk about how they do. So the square wave uses the odd harmonics. So if you take a sine wave, you add up all of the odd harmonics, just keep adding them. And then also they fall off at kind of like a steady rate the farther you get from the fundamental. Then it will eventually converge into being a square. And I think I was on Wikipedia earlier when I was confirming my knowledge of this. And they had a nice little animation for it. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. So here's a sine wave, and here are the harmonics being added to it. And you can see that the more harmonics you add, the closer it gets to an actual square wave. Right. And constructing waveforms in this way, by the way, is called additive synthesis, because you are adding waves together in order to get the other one. All right. So next up, triangle wave. Triangle wave is also the odd harmonics. It's just that they drop off way faster than they do for the square wave. It's kind of weird to think about, though, right? Like that they are both just made up of the odd harmonics is just like the way that it like drops off. And then we have the sawtooth. The sawtooth is made of the odd and even harmonics. All right. So why am I talking about all of this? I thought it would be fun to make some waveforms by mixing together harmonics and just seeing what it sounds like and seeing if we can get some cool instrument sounds out of it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing several sine waves simultaneously that are based off of the integer multiples of the harmonics and see if we can kind of get something that sounds good, you know? And, you know, these are kind of like the fundamental waveforms that you see used in electronics a lot and used in music a lot. But I mean, if you were to like play a key on a piano, that is also generating a waveform that is made up of harmonics that are being like used in different relationships to each other. In fact, you'll often hear people who play instruments talk about harmonics because if you like, we talked about this before, but like going up an octave is like cutting a string in half. That's also moving up to the next harmonic because it's multiplying by 2. So yeah. Admiral Fish, I mean, I love using this block, so it's nice to know more about them instead of just changing values until it works. Cool. All right, so let's try this out. We are going to be using the play tone block, which I think is a sine wave. Let's listen to it.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Just JT, I don't. Maybe I got distracted and hear it mentioned, but I put your link in the chat. It's a nice game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Wait, is this JT's Legend of Zelda game?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Link's one. I was like, wait, what? No. Switch version is fun. I played the original.
Sorry, Joe, you're real quiet. Are you farther away from your mic or something?
Am I farther away from my mic?
Okay, you sound better now.
Okay. Maybe I was projecting my voice in the wrong direction.
Probably. That was probably it. Okay, so let's play around with this. We're going to go ahead and make a function. We're going to call this play waveform. We're going to take in a frequency. And we're going to just call this play thing a bunch with a for loop. And we're going to be doing this in background because we want these to all play simultaneously. And let's put in a duration also is probably a good idea. All right. And so we're going to be playing different harmonics. So for now, let's just play all of the harmonics together. We're going to go ahead and take this index and we're just going to multiply it by our frequency. So we're going to do index plus 1 because our index starts at 0 and we actually want to do, plus 1 so that we start at 1. So grab a plus, put the index in here, make this plus 1, multiply by the frequency. There we go. And by the way, we're just going to be using this to start. We can't control, the play tone doesn't let you control the volume for individual sounds. So we're going to have to switch over to JavaScript when we start wanting to mess with that. But for now, this will work. So let's go ahead and call our function play waveform. Give me a number between 500 and 1,000.
680.
680 is what I heard. Put in 1,000. So this is going to play the 4 overtones for this thing.
I don't think we ever added the duration into the code. We just added
you're right.
Here.
Boop. Go ahead and put this inside of a button. Sounds like a telephone.
Yep. I can see that.
Let's do a bunch of them. Let's do like 10. Yeah. All right.
Time to wake up.
Sorry, anonymous Jedi. I can turn the volume down.
Anonymous Jedi tries to join stream for a fun time, immediately wrecks their ears.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so when you're just playing a single frequency like this, you know, it can be kind of unpleasant, but we're gonna be doing this in a more musical way in a bit. So anyway, this is just playing all of these overtones at the same frequency. I'm sorry, amplitude. Let's go ahead and switch over to our startup sound thing, where we've already written some code to like make sounds. And we're going to go ahead and make a function here, which is going to be play harmonics. It's going to take in a fundamental. It's going to take in a duration. And we're going to, basically like we were doing before, do I is less than 0, I is less than the number of harmonics we want. I don't know, I'm just choosing 12 arbitrarily. I plus plus. Then we are going to play this note for some amplitude. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab this make simple sound function, which takes in a frequency and a duration. And, you know, we'll just go grab this whole music.play instructions bit. So we're going to put in our duration here. Oh, sorry. We're going to put in 0. This is the time that we want to play it at. So we just want to play immediately. We're going to go ahead and put in our fundamental times I plus 1. We're going to put in our duration. And then this is our volume. So we're going to make this just roll off linearly. Well, no, let's leave it as is for now. And then we will make it roll off in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out our play chord. And instead, we are going to do play harmonics. And we're going to be passing in this base frequency that we have and our duration and see what happens. Okay. All right. So just a real weird digital sounding thing.
Is that because we're using not a sine wave for this simple sound?
Oh, are we not using a sine wave?
I think it might be a triangle wave.
Which? All right, I need to look this up. Make sure we're using the right thing. Music. Go down to our waveform table. Okay, sine is 3. Okay, yeah, we're definitely not using sine wave. Gonna go to our make simple sound. We're gonna take this and change it to. I think that's the no. That there's no way that's the waveform, right? Oh no, it is. It is. Yeah. Still pretty buzzy.
Yeah, sounds kind of the same, but oh well.
Well, let's make the harmonics roll off. So we're going to do 1 minus, here, let's go ahead and do, we're going to do this. And then we're going to do 1 minus I divided by harmonics. Okay, so this should be kind of approximating a saw wave. I wish we had an oscilloscope to hook up to this. That would be cool. But I did not think that far. And it does sound kind of like a saw wave. I think. Very buzzy. I'm sorry, doing this as more music I see. Yeah, we're just messing around with sound stuff today. We're not going to be making anything that sounds good. So don't worry about that. Okay.
Or maybe worry about that. Prep
Yeah,
your
maybe.
ears.
All right. I'm going to comment out this play harmonics, and we're going to go back to our play chord. But inside of this play chord, we're going to call play harmonics instead of the other thing. So let's... oh, we need to pass in the time, though. So let's do that. Time after time. Okay. And we're going to do play harmonics. And we're going to pass in this. And we want to pass in our frequencies and our duration. And get rid of that. Okay.
I think we need to actually use the time field that we created.
Yeah.
Where we have 0 in play harmonics. I think we want time.
Right. Okay, so now we're playing some chords with our weird, terrible instrument.
Mhm.
That sounds really familiar to me for some reason.
It sounds just like a really cheap speaker, I think. You know, like if you play music through like those greeting card speakers or something.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. The sound itself, like I don't know, it's like a vague memory tip for me. I don't know what it could possibly be.
Yeah.
It's not like the horns in Shrek when they enter the town, the castle grounds, right?
Mm,
Maybe. I don't think that's what I'm thinking of.
I don't think so, but
That's like
I
a
don't
whole
think so,
ass
but I'm not
song.
going to
Oh,
look at
sorry.
confirm. So in my lore, it always will sound like that now.
Okay.
I'm never going to watch Shrek again, probably. There's a good chance of that. So.
What do you mean you're never gonna watch Shrek again?
Just a feeling. That's a guess.
This is a wild thing to say.
Shrek's not great.
Sarah, this team is full of
movie.
Shrek haters. Don't
Yeah.
even get into it.
I don't hate it.
It hurts
I
my
watched it
soul.
and I enjoyed it at the time.
I dislike it.
It's
I
Well,
like
Thomas, we can start.
Right.
We can start the Shrek appreciation club.
You can start your own MakeCode. Call it MakeCode 2. Have a
Yeah.
bunch of Shrek
Would you
stuff.
ever choose to watch Shrek
I
over like
would.
Spirited Away again? Right? There's a lot of good movies to rewatch. Is what I'm saying.
I would watch Shrek over Spirited Away.
Get
I-
out of here.
I
Wow.
haven't
would.
seen Spirited Away.
Sorry,
so-
I'm removing
Jail.
Thomas. All right, there we go.
No, Thomas.
Oh no! Look who has admin powers too.
All right. Anyway,
Puss in Boots is a really good. The new ones too are really good.
okay. So what we're gonna change this. Right now, we're just playing all the harmonics. Let's just do the odd harmonics, right? So we're gonna go ahead and ironically, we're gonna be doing this because we're doing I+1. We're going to check to see if I is even. So let's go ahead and do if I and 1, that means it's odd. Continue. All right, so this will skip all of the even harmonics. Yeah. Sounds like a squarish wave to me. Something like it.
Yeah. Not the most pleasant square wave in the world, but it's there.
No, so that's the thing I should mention. We're not going to be creating good version of these waveforms because we would have to do a lot more harmonics at a lot better accuracy than what we're doing. Okay, Woof Woof says, "Oh God, that's awful." And then okay, that's good. So this one, it does. I think it does sound much more pleasing than that other one we were doing. All right, let's up the number of harmonics we're doing. Let's do this instead. Oh God, okay, no, let's not do that. What if we do much lower? Ah,
Oh, sounds a little bit like the 4 harmonics sounded a little bit like we put our speaker underwater or something. But
it did sound like that, yeah. Which is kind of accurate. We can talk about. Okay. All right. Digression. All right. So a very common thing that you'd use when you are making instruments are what's called a filter. And it's called a filter because it takes in sound and it filters out specific frequencies and, outputs the result. And the most common of these is what's called a low pass filter. So the low pass filter takes the higher frequencies and filters them out and lets the lower frequencies pass through. So let me see if we can actually look at a yeah, right here. Okay. So this is our frequency going up over time. And then this is how much the filter is limiting them. All right. So with a low pass filter, when you have these lower frequencies, we just let them go straight through all the way. And then when we get to our cutoff frequency, we start limiting it after the fact. All right. Now, you might be like, okay, cool. So on a synthesizer, I know what a low pass filter does. Do I actually find any low pass filters in my life? And the answer is yes, all the time. For example, imagine a piece of music playing behind a door. All right. You can hear the thumping bass pretty easily, but you lose the higher sounds, right? And that's because being underwater or being behind a door is a low pass filter. The low waveforms are able to pass through those surfaces much easier than lower ones does. So when we're doing this and we change the harmonics to only play like, the first 4 or whatever, then we are essentially putting this through a low pass filter, which is why your brain is like, oh yeah, it's like the sound is coming from behind something, because that's what it's doing.
Cool.
Anyway, next time we do one of these music streams, I'll bring an oscilloscope.
Yeah. Get real fancy in your games. If a sound is being made by something in a different room, put it through a low pass filter in Arcade. I don't know if you can do that.
No, I wish we did. So I very much would like to have a better synthesizer engine.
Yeah.
And with different filter types and stuff like that, that would be great.
Yeah. I guess you can make 2 different versions of the sound effect, but it'd be a real pain.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. And also, a lot of times you wanted to change, very often you do not keep the filter at a single setting, You typically, so we were talking about envelopes, right? You typically have an envelope for your filter and an envelope for your volume, and you have it changing over time. Because the filter has a very big effect on the sound. In fact, a lot of the classic synthesizers back in the day, the reason that they sound so different from one another is because of the filter. Because if you think about it, when a triangle waveform is a triangle waveform is a triangle waveform. It's how you filter it, like the slope of frequencies that you take off, that really makes it, distinct. Now, that's not entirely true, because if you look at square waves on old synthesizers, a lot of them look very different from one another. Because, they'll be I feel like a lot of time when you see a square wave, it looks something more like, let me see, do I still have my little scratch image up here? Yeah. And I'm not I don't know enough about how the actual electronics backing this to know why this happens. But a lot of times when you see a square wave, it ends up looking more like, I would say, this, where it's a little bit lopsided and then it spikes up at the end. Again, I don't know why this happens. If someone is an electronics person, please explain it to me. I know enough just to do music stuff. All right.
I mean, I think that's just how roller coasters work. So that makes sense.
So I'm sorry. Are you saying it's to make the waveform more exciting if you were to be riding on it, Joey?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want a little bit of a peak, so you can't see the if you didn't have that little peak at the end, you would see that going down. You want the peak to hide the down.
Yeah, that's a theory. Can't deny it.
It's a
All right.
rock fact.
Let's do something weirder. Okay, so right now we're just cutting these off at a linear rate. All right. Let's try using a different function to cut off. Okay. So for this, we're going to use an easing function. So let's actually go ahead and search for easing functions. And there is this wonderful website. I don't know who makes this website, but I love you, whoever you are, because I use this all the time. So in the browser, there are a bunch of easing functions that are built in. And these are mainly used for animations, because a lot of times you don't want something to animate in a linear way. You want it to like go like foo and then like kind of slow down, or you want to like start slow and then go fast. And so the browser has all of these things built in. And whoever made this, these two people, I guess, Andriy Sitnik and Ivan Solarov, they have collected all of the different equations for these. And so if we actually let's do a funny one. We'll do like this ease out elastic one. Then you can see they have actually put in the JavaScript for these functions, which is awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Ease out elastic.
There's a copy
there's a copy button.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this takes in an x. X is going to be between 0 and 1, and this is going to output a number between 0 and 1. Which is great because that is what we're already doing with our volume. So all we're going to do is we're going to take this progress number that we're doing, and instead we're just going to pass it into this function. So let's go ahead and grab our ease out elastic and pass in our progress number and just see what the heck happens. Okay. Sure. Wait, so this is starting out low and getting higher, right? Yes, the ease out elastic starts at 0, goes up, and then overshoots, and then like comes back. Hi, astronomer. So we do want to invert this. So let's do 1 minus this. Okay, that sounds more like the actual note, which is what I think we were lacking. And let's up the number we're doing again. So prepare your ears, I'm sorry. Okay, that sounds nice. I like that, actually.
There's so much, like,
Thomas
interference on the outside.
You mean, like, the buzziness?
Yeah!
Yeah, that's gonna happen no matter what, unfortunately. It's just it has to do with our sound synthesizers. I played you the demo I made a long time ago of it playing Hey Jude in our simulator.
That was a while ago.
I don't know if you I don't know if I was there for that, but I do remember listening to this. I don't know.
Yeah, Unsigned Arduino, who is in the chat, did a thing where, all right, everybody, we can stop doing this if you want. Where they did a program to convert songs into basically splitting them into sine waves and playing them over time, which is, as we were saying before, like all sounds are just made up of a sine wave. So if you do that, you can end up doing a thing. And then I made my own version that did like a bunch of improvements specific to our sound synthesis. But I never ended up, I did publish my script for doing it, but I never published my actual demo of it playing Paul McCartney singing Hey Jude because that's copyrighted. So, okay, we can stop doing this if everyone is getting too annoyed.
I think it's interesting. I think if we could just like have the volume, then that would be good. I don't know if that's easy to do.
Understood. I said yes, please. LOL. All right. We'll just divide by 2. Okay, I think we were going like beyond the limits because that eliminated a lot of the buzziness, but didn't actually change the volume much. We were clipping.
That's good.
Go a little bit even more even. There we go. How's that? Everyone happy?
I'm happy.
Okay, let's just grab some other random functions. So this is our ease out elastic. Let's I don't know, choose one, Sarah.
Sorry, I'm on a mission to find this tone, so I wasn't
All right,
listening to what
okay.
you asked me.
We're not going to get any help. We're not going to get any help from Sarah today.
No, I promise I'll pay attention at some point. Now, I'm just now thinking that it might have been like an old ringtone. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm trying to find YouTube compilations of old ringtones. I don't know. That was a big thing when I was younger. When I first got a phone, I'm like, I have to find the right ringtone to be super cool.
What was that that website that you use where you hum the song and it finds it? Shazam?
Shazam.
Done
All
a
right,
lot
so
better with AI. Do you think you could use that?
are you thinking of the old Nokia ringtone, Sarah?
That's what I'm like. I'm thinking that it has to be a ringtone at this point because, like, I don't think it'd be part of any game.
I feel like there's quite a lot of things that do a major chord, major chord progression.
Yeah.
But yeah, ringtone's a good guess.
Yeah.
All right. Woof Woof was saying, do we know what the audio popping sounds comes from? So I'm pretty sure the reason we were getting those before and we're not getting them as much now is we were doing what's called clipping, which is we are going beyond the amplitude that is supported by the software. So if you go above the maximum amount, it ends up getting just chopped off, right? So if we were to look at our little thing again, imagine we have this waveform, but the maximum amplitude that is supported is this, then this waveform is just going to get chopped right there. Which with a square wave is kind of just still a square wave, but with other waveforms, it matters a lot. And you get a lot of clipping, you get a lot of pops and things like that. So you can imagine if this had been something that was a little rounder, you can imagine this makes a pretty big change to the sound. So typically you want to make sure that you stay within that frequency range. All right. Let's try out the ease out elastic again.
Ooh.
Now that we are including both the even and odd harmonics. All right. This is fun. Let's do something a little bit like actually probably more like what we would want. We're gonna grab this ease out quad. This looks good. Nice simple equation. Right. Put this in here. We're going to go back to only doing, I shouldn't have. Doing every other harmonic. That just sounds like we've gone back to triangle waves, right?
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's pretty close. Oh, God. Yeah, all right. I think our synth engine only has, you can only go so high with the frequency. So if you are multiplying by 24, I think we're kind of stretching it. Okay. Woof Woof says, well, like the ones you had to fix and then unfix in your program because you fixed them by making it smooth between notes. I'm not sure what you mean there. So the other place that you get clipping is if you go quickly between like a volume and 0. All right. So if you are just playing a sound and then you immediately go to 0, you will get a pop sound, which is why you typically fade it out instead. And we have some logic in our synthesizer to not do those popping sounds. It should always try to round it out a little bit. It's not the greatest. but I'm not hearing any popping right now, though. But anyway, if you are hearing popping with your sounds, then it can be a good idea to just have it trail off a bit, you know? Okay. All right. This is something. Let's see. Are there any more of these that are interesting? No. Okay. Let's just try some other combinations of here. We're gonna do some other things. So we're gonna do every third harmonic. Like that. All of these just sound like bad toys to me, you know? Okay, yeah, you can't go that high. What about 15? And then if we do the filter thing again, like go down to 4. Ah. Nice. Anonymous Jedi says banjo. Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of times you can express like as I said, like you can express the sounds from instruments and stuff as combination of waveforms. But it's a little bit more complicated than just having one waveform over time. Typically, the waveform will change as the sound goes. And that is just like the result of the actual physics of like, you know, a string moving or the air vibrating against the reed that you're blowing into and the holes that are, you know, carved into the instrument or whatever. So it can make sense to like that's why a lot of times when you're trying to do actual instruments, you end up doing something where what's called wavetable synthesis. Okay, so there are a lot of these wavetables you can find online where people have just sampled the waveform of like a piano sound like over time. And you can move the waveform that you're playing through these wavetables and have them like, oh, Woof Woof says, can you publish this project on GitHub so I can steal all the code? I mean, I'm just going to put it, I'll put it in the chat right now. You can take it. The code isn't that interesting though, but. Oh shoot. Hey, can one of you guys put it in the chat on StreamYard?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So I think that was all I wanted to do. I just wanted to talk about harmonics and stuff today. I did make a demo for doing wavetable synthesis in Arcade, but I have not shipped it. So also, let's see. Astronomer said, Richard, I'm making a game for you. What kind of game? If you're making a game for me, you have to know, okay, I like strategy RPGs. All right. And it needs to have a lot of character customization. And also, I don't like it when there's like a bunch of story characters who join your party and then you feel pressured to use them. I like little anonymous guys, okay, that like you raise up and you make emotional connections to. And they should have random names like Philip or Timothy or Blorane or, you know, just real fantasy names like that. And yeah, okay, I think that's enough to go on for now. So, Astronomer 5121 says, a non-guy 01. Yeah. Okay. So, let's go ahead and play some of the games we have in chat. So, we will start off with the is it okay for us to show the Legend of Zelda 1?
Oh.
It's an interesting question.
Okay, sorry, JT, but we're going to skip that one just out of an excess of caution. But people can check it out on the forum. Admiral Fish says one way to find out. Yeah, I don't want to find out though. I did play it on the forum though, and it was pretty cool. All right, but we have another thing from Woof Woof, which is some music they made. So let's go ahead and grab that. Anonymous Jedi says Nintendo police gonna break down your door. Yeah, Nintendo, a famously very litigious company. Music?
It's very organy. I like it.
It is, yeah. So organs are actually a very interesting point with synthesis. So we talked a little bit about additive synthesis. So additive synthesis is actually not the most common form of synthesis. Typically what you do is what's called subtractive synthesis. So you work with a waveform like a square wave or a triangle wave that has like a lot of harmonics, and then you filter them down, like I said, by putting it through a low pass filter. But one place where they do use additive synthesis is organs. And as you might guess, that some of the earliest synthesizers were trying to be organs because organs were a very common instrument. They were the closest analog to synthesizers because, you know, you can hold down a key and it keeps playing the note, unlike pianos where it's a thing hitting thing. With organs, you actually have like air that's being billowed through a pipe that is being like opened up by you pressing down the key. And so they have some very interesting synthesis techniques that other ones don't. Like a very common one is called like tone wheel synthesis, which is very interesting. I would say check it out, but I don't feel like I'm confident enough in how it works exactly to talk about it right now. Very cool. And Wolfwolf says organs play multiple chords at once because they were originally intended to sound like an entire orchestra playing at once. Yeah. And organs, I think they very clearly play the different harmonics, and you can hear it a lot. But I like organ sounds. All right. Next up, we have another game. This one is from Admiral Fish. On the note of JT's tech demo, I wanted to show my work on that platformer you guys played a while back because I'm fueled by the validation from others. Aren't we all? Sorry, I just realized now I can show this on the screen. Yeah, let me grab that. We'll play it out real quick. Cantiona Isles stream version. Ooh, love this map. Deep Forest, Sky Island. Yeah, I really like the whole UI you've got going on here, and that you actually have the name of the place showing up in a spot and not just using like Sprite Say or something.
Good start. Good start.
Yes. Where is everyone? I guess I'll go search for that. Jump, jump, jump. Nice. So is this using Overworld to do the transitions and stuff? Or is this your own thing?
It's not, apparently.
Ah. Yeah, I thought that this predated the Overworld extension. I'm glad that I'm remembering that correctly.
I think you can do a slide maybe to get under that. If I remember correctly. Like down, maybe. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm stuck.
Press menu, apparently.
Oh, whoa.
Oh.
Oh, if you keep pressing menu, it just keeps adding to the... Sorry, I'll stop breaking your game. I slide.
Oh,
slide.
Is it changing what B does? Is that the idea?
I don't know. Okay, I think I broke the game. Let me Funny every time.
Up and B, apparently.
Up and B. All right, so if I do up and B right now, okay. Let's go ahead and do ice slide. Oh, nice. There we go. The colors and stuff of this game remind me of a game that Joey turned me on to a long time ago. Joey, do you have a guess of what I'm about to say?
Not Dead Cells.
No.
I don't really have a guess. That was a.
Wizard of Legend.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Wizard of Legend. I forgot there's a Wizard of Legend 2 that's like already out. I think
There is, and yeah, that's like, oh, I like that chest opening animation a lot.
it's good.
And also that you have just a bunch of jewels and stuff that you're picking up, a la Shovel Knight. Always a great vibe. Woo. Okay. I fell out the bottom of the world. Well, it's an early demo. Emerald Fish says NA16 is a popular 16 color palette. Unside Radio says switches to Backrooms game. All right. We have a game from Astronomer. Let's go ahead and grab that one. Operius, the next generation. Work in progress. Ooh, theming the simulator. This is after Joey's heart. Sector 1, escape. Oh, right, I remember this game.
I'm scared.
Oh, that was pretty cool. So that was like time was frozen and I could do a bunch of shots and then they...
Oh, I see in chat. Oh, frick. I forgot to change that bit of film. But maybe it's not intentional.
Wolf says, Richard, have you seen the my MakeCode font editor? Yeah, I saw it. We'll pull it up in just a second, actually. I really like the idea of doing a bunch of frozen shots and then time resuming. And then it like... We should do a game like that.
Reminds me of like Breath of the Wild when you can pause time on an object and then hit it a bunch. And then it goes flying.
Basis. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Charmer says, fun fact. Okay, let's pull up the font editor real quick. This is very cool, by the way. Oh, whoa! Mouse support. Builded, obviously. Oh wait, how do I select? Or do I not? Do I not have it unlocked?
Click, maybe? I don't know.
Does the mouse support work for the? You should make the mouse work for the controls also. That might be too broken. That'd be fun. Yeah, it's very cool. All right, keep working on it. We'll keep playing it if you bring it to chat again. Okay, right. I want to show off the font editor that Wolf was working on. And also ask questions about it. There we go. Let's see. Is the latest version the one at the top? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So, this editor takes one of our inbuilt fonts and puts all of the characters into the screen so you can see them. These red things on the left here are the binary for this car code. Right. Which I was staring at a while before I figured that out. Let's see. I know if you press A, you get the preview. But I was like, how do you actually do the editing? Woof woof, please let me know. How do you actually do the editing? Let's see. Woof woof says you could make the ship go in the direction closest to the direction of the mouse, but only directions that joystick players would have access to. Yeah, or just like limit it to the speed that you would have. Let's see, you can scroll. Scroll. Mouse. Oh, I should have guessed.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at me ruin this font. And is now just a rectangle. Very cool. And then I believe you said that it like serializes to the Woof Woof says, I think I said that in the forum post. I swear I read the forum post, but perhaps I did not. I think it serializes if you press what button does that? Oh, there we go. B button does it. Yeah, so it spits it out in the chat. So here's the font data. So for those who don't know, in MakeCode, we have the ability to include buffers of data using this hex syntax, where you do, yeah, like right here. So you can see the all of these numbers and letters that you put in here will basically be converted into binary and included in your program, which is really good if you want to do a bunch of things. Wolf Wolf says, why didn't the console show up for you when you pressed it before? Yeah, it beats me. I mean, I might have been pressing it when we were still in the share page and not in the actual editor. This is very likely user error. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're kind of at the end of our time, but I wanted to reveal the mini game jam theme since the mini game jam is starting on Monday. So it was between two, and we're going to decide on which one it is right now. All right. So I asked the team for submissions, and we got a bunch of submissions. And the ones that I liked the most were, let's see. One of them was game show jam. So making games that could be game shows, or trying to recreate like, game shows you like, or just making any game that has like a cat with a little microphone talking into it, maybe, and then like a bunch of lights and stuff and people on stage. Anyway. And then what was the other one? Oh, Construction Jam from our very own Thomas. So games about building things, or as we were also saying, just a platformer where everyone wears a hard hat. But you could, this would be perfect for making a Minecraft type game. Or I remember QE Phoenix a long time ago made a Tears of the Kingdom inspired game where you could stick things together.
Yeah, I had the idea because I've been playing Blueprints. So
yeah, everyone's playing Blueprints.
Choosing tile maps and things. Yeah.
So, Sarah, Thomas, Joey. Well, I think I know what Thomas's vote is. But
I don't know. I actually kind of like Game Show Jam. So,
how do you guys feel about those two? Which one's your favorite?
I like them both as well. For some reason,
Sarah, you have to choose.
I know. I'm going there. It's just gonna be a long story. Okay,
right.
It's not gonna be that long either. For some reason, I'm like Construction Jam feels like May to me. Couldn't tell you why, but I'm like. If I were to choose the two and like say like which one fits in May better, I think Construction Jam does. So there you go.
Yeah, it's the beginning of spring, new beginnings, I guess. It's not the beginning of spring. It's actually kind of near the end of it.
Like the end, yeah.
It's
The
maybe
beginning
a
of spring,
better
if you think
time
that
for
spring
construction.
starts then.
Is there a better time for construction?
No,
Is that
I
what
think
you asked?
probably summer is better than trying to construct things in winter, I would guess. You don't
Yeah.
get snowed on when you're building a
New
house.
things.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. In the chat, we have 1 vote for construction and 2 votes for game show. Joey, what's your vote?
I kind of want to see a construction games show where you have to make a game show about constructing things.
Okay. I think we are actually tied at this point.
Oh.
Thomas,
Gosh.
what was your vote?
I'm going to vote for construction because I think
Okay.
we'll get a more diverse selection of games.
Wolf Wolf says, I hate making dialogue. Please do construction. Okay, so counting everything up, we have, let's see, looks like 3 votes for construction in the chat and 2 votes for construction here. And then we have 2 votes for game show in the chat and 1 for game show here. So I think that means construction is, Admiral Fish says, I'll make your dialogue. I think we're going to be doing Construction Jam for this week. So all you lucky viewers, you get an extra 3 days to work on your games. But as always, we're going to be playing all of these at the end of the month. And, this is not the end of Game Show Jam.
Yeah, we can do it another month, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
It just fits May so well.
Right. Okay. So Sarah, I need you to, which month would Game Show Jam be best placed in?
June.
You're just choosing the next month, Sarah.
No. Hear me out.
Right.
It's coincidence that it's June because it's the next month. But like, I don't know. Summer, you're playing more games. You're having more fun. Game show.
I'm suspicious, I have to say.
I would go
Or-
September personally.
September? No, my birth month doesn't.
If you
do
ask me
game
what's the right
shows.
month for game shows, I would have to say September.
I don't know.
What
I
about
was
November?
leaning
Because
towards
it starts with
December.
no, and like some of game shows are like yes or no questions.
So I like that. I like that too.
Yeah, that's I remember they piloted the yes or no version of Jeopardy for a long time, and it just did not do as well.
I mean, deal or no deal is yes or no, right?
That's true, I guess. I do not remember the mechanics of deal or no deal, if I'm being honest.
I'm pretty sure it's deal or no deal, Joey, not yes or no.
No deal. Yeah.
It's Thomas. It's yes deal or no deal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I am Richard at Richard on the MakeCode Forum.
I'm Joey at J Wonder on the MakeCode Forum.
I'm Sarah on the MakeCode Forum.
I'm Thomas at Sparks on the MakeCode Forum.
And on Monday, we're going to be back to working on our Seagull game. So if you want to see us work on that, check it out. And we'll probably pick up the startup thing at some point. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do it next week, but anyway. All right. See you later, everybody.